You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last almost 1.5 months, Republic Media Network, Republic Kannada, Republic TV, we've been investigating the plot in Dharmasthala, the only network to expose the hoax, to break down the network of fake activists, network of fake NGOs, network of the Maoist media that circulated the lie about a mass burial. Today, there has been a big impact, another big impact. The Enforcement Directorate is stepping in. Here are the headlines as we get you a big exclusive on the show tonight. ED starts looking into the Dharmasthala conspiracy. Fake activists, Maoist media, their foreign funding angle now under scanner. US Embassy in India refuses to back Trump's aide Navarro, says we will not comment, says please ask the White House, we have nothing to do with it. Aftershocks in Afghanistan, another quake measuring 5.2 hits Afghanistan a few minutes ago. India rushes aid to Kabul as it tries its best to reach out to the Taliban in its humanitarian effort. We're getting in a ground report from Afghanistan tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, there never was a mass rape or a mass burial in Dharmasthala. It was a conspiracy to target a temple, and the sequence of events as broken down by Republic Kannada and the Republic Media Network show that there was a network of lawyers, politicians, NGOs, masked men and masked funders, conspirators. We're getting in breaking news now. Let's go straight to that. Enforcement Directorate is stepping in. From the details that we have, sources telling Republic TV that the ED is going to probe the foreign funding angle in the Dharmasthala hoax. It's already in the public domain. Anti-temple activists, did they receive foreign funding? Was there a hidden hand? Was there a masked conspirator? A masked hand? In fact, were they people who were operating from abroad? There was a letter written by a sitting BJP MP to Amit Shah asking for a foreign funding angle to be investigated, and the ED focus will be on the funding angle entirely. Let me go across to Tejasvi Surya, BJP MP from Bengaluru, joining us on the show. Tejasvi has been following the story, he's been speaking out as well. Tejasvi, we've exposed how there was no mass burial, right? This masked man was a prop. But the real story will be in who his handlers were, right? Now, Tejasvi, we have a picture now that shows some of these activists came to Delhi, took selfies in front of the Supreme Court. Reports are suggesting they wanted to take the skull inside the Supreme Court, but were stopped from doing that. Top lawyers, maybe top politicians also involved.
Absolutely, Niranjan. There is no two ways about it. We have been consistently saying that the masked man and the YouTuber and the couple of activists who were seen giving media bites are only the pawns in a larger game. The script was written by somebody else. The entire drama was directed by some very powerful people. And the very fact that a so-called whistleblower who claimed to be an earlier sanitation worker could afford the services of a posse of lawyers, senior lawyers who charge 5 to 6 lakh rupees per hearing, and had them on retainership for months together, is an indication that there were many big hands, and those people need to be exposed. In addition to that, from local YouTubers to Al Jazeera and BBC, there was an entire media blitzkrieg that was created, especially to defame Hindu temples at a global level. This also needs to be brought under the scanner. The masked man and the few people whose faces we have seen as part of the conspiracy, it is very clear today, are mere pawns in a big exercise. What the ED investigation will do is it will unmask the conspirators of this entire drama. It will show who got the money, with whom these people were in touch, how the lawyers were paid, who made their payments, who prompted certain agenda-driven news channels and news portals, including international ones, to peddle non-stop lies over 2 full months. All of this conspiracy will be exposed. I thank, on behalf of crores of Hindu devotees from Karnataka, the government of India. I thank the Honorable Home Minister for this very important and very necessary direction that the ED must probe the foreign funding angle.
Yeah. Now, I have another question, because this is very often skipped. Now, we call them the Maoist media. In fact, Arnab debated a few weeks back. The Maoist media was the first to spread this like wildfire. Now, when the news broke, you will see that similar narrative, similar pictures, similar imagery, similar script was used. You mentioned Al Jazeera and BBC. But in India, an entire group of media houses, I'm not naming them, it's not for me to do, the ED will do that, they're probing the money trail. Mainstream media houses, so-called national media houses also did that. Now, my question is, for how long will such media houses get away? Because I have got information. Now, I'm not naming the party, I'm not naming anybody, but a close aide of a top politician sitting in Bengaluru was paying allegedly YouTubers, coordinating with media houses, the narrative that goes out. It hints at a larger plot, perhaps politically driven.
Absolutely, Niranjan. And not just making stories, some media, some news portals, and only because, I don't want to take the names and people are mostly already aware of these news portals, I'm not naming them, shamelessly even conducted fundraising campaigns using this controversy, this manufactured controversy as a pretext. They said, please fund our channels, please fund and donate to our news portals to enable us to uncover this truth. So not only was funding made available to YouTubers and certain vested media groups to create a narrative, certain parasitic media groups, even like vultures, use this manufactured controversy to run donation campaigns for their news portals. Also, you mentioned very rightly the possibility of a political angle. Let me give what my impression about this is. There is an entire lobby, and primarily the Congress party that supports it, that gains to stand from destabilizing the faith that Hindus have on their institutions, their dharmic institutions. By destabilizing the faith, by uprooting Hindus from their culture, it is easy to make them easy prey for conversion activities. And the moment there is a change in demography, the moment there is a change in the number of non-Hindus in a particular constituency, the Congress party stands to be the primary political beneficiary. I am making this abundantly clear because we have seen how, not on one occasion, but on multiple occasions, the Congress party has always been at the forefront of supporting mafias that target Hindu institutions, that target Hindu festivals, try to secularize Hindu festivals, and prepare the breeding ground for later conversion activities. This entire conspiracy will be unearthed with ED taking this over. There is definitely an urban Naxal angle. There is definitely a political angle where a particular political party and certain political forces stand to gain political ground by changing the demography of a particular city, state, constituency, by making ground ready for easy conversion, by secularizing Hindu festivals and attacking Hindu institutions. This has been an agenda that has gone on for a very long time. And this is an opportunity for all of us who believe in the values of the Constitution, in plurality of our society, liberal acceptance of all faiths, and most importantly, the respect for faith of all institutions, of faith of dharmic institutions. This is an opportunity for us to unearth this fully.
Yeah. I'll thank you at this point, but I hope that that politician or that politician's aide, his name also comes out, because we are hearing that he coordinated with the fake activists, the YouTubers, the Maoist media, and gave them the script. So there was a toolkit. There was an anti-Dharmasthala, anti-temple toolkit that was shared with all these channels.
And let me also tell you, Niranjan, my sources tell me, if you go back to your own channel, if you go back to Republic Kannada, which has done a fantastic job in covering this entire controversy every day and exposing the truth to the public, I will also remind the viewers that the very first reaction of the Chief Minister when he was asked, a few hours after this masked man emerged and demanded an SIT, the very first reaction of the Chief Minister was to brush away. And he said that just because some random person is coming and asking for an SIT, a request cannot be exceeded. But the very same Chief Minister, within 12 hours, does a major U-turn and constitutes an SIT with 4 to 5 senior IPS officers leading it. I am told that he did this after he received instructions to do so from Delhi, from a very senior leader of the Congress party. Okay. The ED investigation, we hope, will also expose this angle of who these handlers are who instructed the Chief Minister to constitute an SIT when he was not willing to do so himself at the first instance. Who were the people sitting in Bangalore who were directing every single day, like a very well-planned script, this Maoist masked man asking him to go to this place, another place tomorrow, telling, cooking up stories every single day, coordinating media blitzkrieg at an international level, hundreds of YouTube videos, YouTubers' payments, lawyers, activism in courts. All of this needs to be exposed, and a deterrent message should be sent to all these vested interest groups that such misadventures will come at a very big cost.
Yeah.
Thank you, Niranjan.
Thank you, Tejasvi, for joining us on this show. Tracking that story closely, we have another big breaking news update coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, a top Trump aide said something really stupid. Now, he said Brahmins were profiteering from the Russian oil when he spoke to the media yesterday. Now, we asked the US Embassy in India whether they back Navarro's statement, whether they have any comment to offer. Now, they have washed their hands off. So, US Embassy has refused to back Navarro, saying we would refer you to the White House. They will not comment on Navarro because they don't want to, saying the White House, it's up to the White House to comment on what Navarro has said when he said Brahmins were profiteering. Let me go across to Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, will be joining us live. But the US Embassy in India, in a response to Republic, has refused to comment. They have said it's not up to us. We cannot comment on Navarro. White House has to do that. So they washed their hands off, completely snubbing Navarro. And the comment, in fact, it's interesting because the last time, about 1 week back, they jumped to his defense. But today on the Brahmin comment, they are not defending him. They're saying the White House will comment on this. We have nothing to do with this. Interesting. Let me go across to Abhishek. Abhishek is joining us live. This comes also at a time when the US Embassy actually had put out a post on Monday while saying India-America ties are now going to the next level. We had a graphic of what the US Embassy has said. Can we play that graphic? And Abhishek will also be joining us live on the response of the US. They've gone completely silent. In fact, nobody knows where Trump is. There is speculation. For the last 1 week, he hasn't spoken in the media. He hasn't been seen in public. And there is perhaps an indication that he could be speaking tonight, but we don't know whether that will have anything to do with trade or Russia. If Abhishek is live, we can go across to him. Okay, let's go across to our next breaking news update coming in as the US Embassy refuses to back Navarro. The next breaking news update coming in, that's a response of the White House, by the way, of US Embassy, by the way, saying you can ask White House, we have nothing to do with it. Okay, Abhishek, quickly, yesterday, interestingly, the US Embassy was talking about better India-America ties, talking about strategic partnership, very contradictory to what Trump said just last morning.
Well, embassy would do exactly what they did yesterday. Niranjan, remember, it's their job to keep the India-United States ties really on an even keel. They are in a bit of a quandary themselves. There is no ambassador yet. Trump has appointed a nominee in Sergei Gore, but it would be some time before he comes. And so the embassy, whatever you see coming out of embassy is essentially damage control, because remember, everybody in the US administration below the White House understands that not a small, a huge level of damage has been caused to the India-United States ties. So what you saw yesterday was damage control. And now, of course, since you asked those sharp questions, since they cannot be answered here, that's why we get referred to the White House. And what is happening in the White House, obviously only one man decides. And that one man has decided that unless India nominates him for the Nobel Peace Prize, this daily round of volleys through his attack dogs like Peter Navarro would keep coming. And so it seems that while on the ground, the embassy here and the team here would be doing damage control, whatever happens from the White House, obviously they have no control over it. And that's why they would refer you, whenever you ask those questions, which obviously they cannot answer, we would get referred to the White House. That's how it seems is going to remain till the time at least the ambassador, who happens to have ear of the president, arrives in some time.
Yeah. Interesting. Abhishek, thank you for joining us. Controversial comment was discussed all of yesterday, and he continues to get critical feedback from his own partymen for that. Thank you for joining us, Abhishek. We have a report now from Afghanistan, cutting across straight to the details coming in from Afghanistan. There was a quake that measured 6 on the Richter scale, and aftershocks being felt this evening, measuring 5.2 on the Richter scale. And I'm going across to some of the reports. We have a reporter in Afghanistan sending us some of the details, the pictures around him as he reports the devastation in Afghanistan. Over 1,000 people killed. Some reports putting it at 1,400, 1,500. We are waiting for an official number. New Delhi is doing everything possible to help the people of Afghanistan in this hour. And these are some of the reports we have from Afghanistan as it suffers a second aftershock.
Yesterday night, around midnight, a very strong earthquake struck different parts of eastern Afghanistan, including Kunar, Ningrar, and Lagman provinces. Sadly, it has caused heavy casualty. According to the spokesperson of Afghanistan's current government, so far the number of people killed has reached 900, and more than 3,000 others are injured. Local people told me that in Mazar Valley of Nurgul district in Kunar, a large village has been completely destroyed. Dozens of families live there, but now all the houses are returned to rubble. Emergency rescue, medical, and I team have reached in the area. The injured are being artifacted to hospital by helicopter of the airports, but still many dead and wounded remain trapped under the debris. Reports say the ground continued to shake every 5 minutes with aftershock cause fear in pick. The atmosphere is trafficking and people are spending the night in fear. Most of the victims are women and children who are still buried under the rubble and urgently need to be rescued. The Taliban authorities have formed a special committee to respond to this tragedy and have allocated 100 million Afghani for immediate relief. But international organization must act as quickly as possible and reach the affected area without delay to help relieve the suffering of the victims. I have nothing more to add except to call on the world. Afghans are facing a disaster like Judgment Day. Please save us. Please support us.
All right, we're getting in some breaking pictures on the show towards the end. Shehbaz Sharif, the Pakistan Prime Minister, who is in China, he was in Tianjin and continued to extend his visit. He was there with Asim Munir, the Pakistan Army Chief, and he has now met Vladimir Putin. And while meeting Vladimir Putin, the Pakistani Prime Minister has told Russia that he wants to build ties with Russia. He has said that he wants to improve relations with Russia. And he also said to Putin, he's heard saying that we respect Russia's relations with India, but we too want to build ties with Russia. After dinner with Trump, Munir has now participated in Beijing's victory parade. Struck a deal with America, now they want to strike a deal with Russia. Pakistanis, after fooling Trump, now seeking deeper Russia-China ties. We had the pictures also come in. We'll do that. We'll bring it to you in just a few minutes. And that's it on this edition of This Is Exclusive. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. The debate is coming up at 8. Arnab Goswami, live at 8 p.m. with the two big debates. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.